Welcome back to the Comp Closet podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm your host, Sarah Moore, and today we are joined by an incredible competitor who just won her Bikini Athletic Pro card in the FMG Sydney show. Mia Barlow, welcome.
Hello, thank you for having me. I'm very excited.
I'm so excited to chat. From the moment that I saw you on the Sydney stage, honestly, I was so inspired by just the package that you brought to that stage. Like, you already looked like a pro, and I'm not
Yeah.
surprised that you went pro. So, yeah, I'm super
I'm
excited to hear.
surprised. I'm a bit surprised, but I'm very, very happy. Like, things couldn't have worked out more perfect. So, yeah.
Yes. So if you could sit across from the version of yourself who had never prepped for a show, never trained, never dieted, what do you think she'd say if she saw you now?
Oh my God. She'd be like, how the hell did you pull that off? I don't think she would believe it. She wouldn't believe it. And I think if I was to tell her one thing, just believe in yourself and keep going. Don't give up because yeah, my past version of myself never would have guessed I'd end up here as a pro athlete today. Not at all. I don't think anyone would have guessed this. So, yeah.
Yes. It's such an exciting moment, like when you hear that you've won your pro card and you feel like, all of that hard work is worth it. And like all those moments just kind of flash through your eyes. So,
It was such a surreal feeling. I still remember it like it was yesterday.
and what was the first thing that drew you to the stage? Like, was there a moment that you said to yourself, I'm going to take this all the way?
No. There was never, I didn't think I was going to make it to the end. Being honest, I almost pulled out like 12 times. But what first drew me to the stage was I was literally just scrolling on Instagram one day, just scrolling, and I seen someone in like this most sparkliest bikini, beautiful colors, and I'm like, what is this? Like, what is this? What's this? And I started stalking. I'm finding all these bikini competitors. I'm like, yep, I've got to do it. I have to do it. I was just so drawn to just getting up on stage, looking pretty, showing off my body. So yeah, I kind of hit like a plateau in gym. I was getting pretty bored with training. I felt like I was hitting my potential and I didn't really have an end goal to strive towards. And then yeah, I got a new coach and he was a comp prep coach. And I'm like, hey, do you want to comp prep me? Like, do you just want to do it? He's like, yeah, sure. I'm like, sweet. All right, let's do it. So that was pretty much the story.
Amazing. And how long were you with your coach for before you started your prep?
Only a few months, maybe 3-4 months, I think. It wasn't too long. Yeah, now that I think of it, actually, it wasn't that too long. But it worked
Yeah,
out well.
wow.
That was good.
So it was quite a quick decision from like when you were thinking, I need something more, you got a coach and then you decided to compete. Like there wasn't actually that long between when you decided.
I was looking at it for around a year kind of thing. Like I was into the gym for about 2-3 years, like properly. I've been into the gym, I've been into sports, I've been into everything my whole entire life, but like properly going to the gym every single day, maybe like 2 or 3 years. And it was around like a year before I competed. That's when I really started like all over my Instagram, bikini competitors. Everyone was competing. I was introduced to a lot of competitors too. So it was quite a while, but the decision to actually compete was very, very spur of the moment decision.
How was your prep experience?
Oh my God. It was amazing. Prep has its good and bad sides, 100%. There was definitely more positives that came out of it than negatives. But I will say this till the day I die, prep is the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. Like, I don't care what anyone says, prep is not easy. Like, it is such a challenge. But honestly, everything that happened, I wouldn't change it for the world. Obviously, I won, and I'm very grateful for that, but it has shaped me into be such an amazing person now. But yeah, there was probably more bad days than good days in my prep experience.
Yeah, and when you say it was so challenging, like what was it specifically that you found hard about prep?
Yeah, look, I've been trying to put my finger on this a little bit because a lot of people ask me, like, what was the hardest thing about prep? There's so many different levels to prep. There's the physical side, there's the mental side, there's a social side, there's the fatigue side. There's so many different aspects of the hardest bit. But for me personally, I think the number one hardest thing for me was probably the mental demons, the mental battle within yourself. Definitely the mental side of things. Even though, like, towards the end of prep, the physical side got very hard. Like, I was so fatigued towards the end. But yeah, the mental side, it definitely is the hardest mental battle that I think anyone will ever face. Obviously, it's easier for everyone, like different people, but for me, yeah, the mental side was insane.
Yeah, and was there anything unexpected that happened to you?
Actually, at the start of prep, I was about 2 weeks in, I think. I went to the beach with my friend and I actually got attacked by a male over a car spot and I dislocated my whole finger. And I was in a cast for like a long time. I think for the first like 6 weeks of prep, I couldn't lift properly. So for 6 weeks, I'm freaking out. I'm like trying to do things where it doesn't involve my hand. It was my right hand too. And thankfully it did get better. Like it was just a dislocated finger. But yeah, so the start of prep was very rocky. But I think that was like the biggest major thing that happened.
That's so hectic and over a parking space.
Yeah, it was wild. It was so unnecessary. But yeah, I look back at it now and laugh, but at the time I was freaking out. I'm like, oh my God, I can't go on with prep. I'm done. Yeah, it was insane.
Yeah, I don't know about you and anyone listening to this, but I definitely have fears on prep around things happening. Like, I remember a few months before I started my last prep, I got stung by a bee on my stomach, and like it was so swollen and it had this massive mark for probably like 6 weeks. And I was like, imagine if this happened, 2 weeks before a show,
Yeah,
and
I
then you
literally wrapped
instantly had
myself
this
up in
fear.
bubble wrap. Yeah. I'm like,
Yeah.
I can't get any bruises. I can't get any scratches. No one touch me. No one come near me.
Now I'm gonna have to add not parking the car to that list. It's just
Don't
too
go to the beach,
risky.
guys. Don't go to the beach.
So walk me through that moment in Sydney when you're standing on stage and they call your name as first place and a new pro. What was going through your head?
Okay, this is actually really funny. So obviously I got third call out and then I was moved to first. Throughout the day I was pretty confident I was gonna be like top three, top five, something like that. And I'm standing there and they called out third place. I'm like, okay, that's fine, like happy. I still got another chance because I was adamant that like I was gonna come second or third, not gonna come first. Like did not expect it at all. And then they called out second place and you can actually like see my face drop a little bit. I'm like, oh my God, shit. And then they called out first. And because I've already just told myself, oh, I'm not first. Like, it's not happening. They called out my number and I didn't hear it. Like, I didn't register it was me. So I'm standing there like this. And then they call my name. I'm like, oh, hang on, hang on. And then I just literally started bawling my eyes out. I started laughing too. I was just so happy. And then, yeah, I walked to the front. And this one thing, this is really like, it's not embarrassing. I think it's funny now, but I didn't know when you go up to get your medal that you don't do like a pose. So I've walked up there and I've done this pose and I'm like, oh my God. And all the pros came up to me afterwards and said, like, you don't pose when you go and get your medals. I'm like, no. Like, even looking back on the videos now, I get a bit of secondhand embarrassment.
That's so funny. You obviously just practiced it so much, like walking to the front of the stage and posing and always being on. And then in that
Yeah.
moment, it's just naturally
Like,
what
that
you
was
do.
my number one, like, my centerpiece that I'll do this thing. So when I walked up there, it was just natural. And, like, I've never actually, like, I didn't really take notice of people when they got medals because I don't know, I didn't really watch them, like, on the shows. So I didn't know. And yeah, so that was pretty funny. But it was the best moment of my life. No doubt about it. No doubt about it.
Yes. And then how did you feel that night and like the next morning? Did it feel real?
No. It honestly still doesn't feel like it kicked in a little bit, but it's such a surreal feeling. You're like, did I really just do that? Like, is this me? Like, there's a bit of like self doubt and a bit of like imposter syndrome even in it. Um, it's only really now that I'm kind of sitting back, I'm going through the photos, I'm going through the videos. I'm like, oh yeah, that's me. But yeah, it definitely didn't feel real the night of, not at all. I was just on such a high, and I was so exhausted after show two. I went out for dinner and just crashed.
Was show day in itself like kind of what you expected backstage and the whole day?
Honestly, show day was better, way better than I expected. I thought show day was going to be so pressured, so like I'm going to feel horrible, like not eating as much. I'm really lean. It was the best day of my life. I felt amazing. I'm running around with the biggest smile on my face from ear to ear from the morning, like the minute I woke up to the minute I went to sleep. I don't think I wiped that smile off my face once. Not at all. Like I genuinely had the best time. Backstage was amazing. Being on stage was amazing. Like, it was just more than I actually could have imagined. So that was good.
Yes, it really is the best day ever, and it just
Yeah.
makes you want to do it again. Like when you're in prep in the depths in those trenches, you're like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I can do this again. And then you have show day and you're like, oh my
Yeah.
gosh, I want to do this
It
all
was
over
all
again.
worth it. It's kind of like you trauma block the prep out, and then because show day is so good, you forget about all the hard times and you only focus on the good times in peak week. You're like, oh yeah, I want to do this all again.
So true. So you've been open about struggling with mental health throughout your life. What has that journey looked like for you, and how has it shaped the way that you've approached competing?
Yeah, so I've struggled with mental health since very young. I was really bullied throughout all of high school. Didn't really go to high school that much. I was in a really toxic relationship for 7 years, pretty much in like the pinnacle years of my life, from like 12 to 21. Struggled very badly with BPD and ADHD and all those things. But honestly, and I do still struggle to this day, don't get me wrong, I am still struggling with all those things. But I think the way that it shaped me in prep was I knew that I'd been through so many hard battles that this was just another battle that I could get through. Like every time that I wanted to give up or I thought that I couldn't do this or I wasn't strong enough, I just remember like, no, like I've been through a lot in my life and this is just another obstacle that I'm going to overcome. And yeah, it just made me a bit more resilient than what I thought I was going to be. But yeah, there was obviously some dark sides to prep to dealing with those mental battles too. So it went hand in hand. So yeah.
Yeah, and competing obviously requires so much discipline. It can be isolating, intense, mentally exhausting. What was the hardest part mentally for you that you don't think most people see?
The self-doubt. The self-doubt was major. The nerves. Every day you would have to wake up and you just felt horrible and you're like, no, like I need to go to the gym in the morning. I need to do this cardio. But some days you literally couldn't even get out of bed. Like some days I would like call my dad, I'm like, get me up. Oh, we need to go for a walk. Like, get me up right now. Yeah, you have to just push through when your body is physically and mentally telling you don't do it. Like you give up. Just that's enough. But you've got to like push past that barrier just to keep going. And then every time that you actually do go, and it's the best feeling in the world, you just feel so accomplished after that. But yeah, definitely forcing yourself up when you don't want to go anymore is the hardest thing.
Yes, and do you think competing healed something in you, or did it more reveal parts that you still needed to work on?
Ooh, that's a tough one. That's a very tough one. I think 50-50. I think it healed some parts of me because before prep, I was in a very bad place. I was not in a good place physically and mentally at all. And a lot of those aspects I've now completely resolved. I don't even have those issues anymore. But then on the other hand, it has brought out some other mental battles that I didn't think that I really had beforehand. Like I kind of had a suspicion I had an issue with these things, but it definitely enhanced it in the prep and after the prep too. But I look at this as now, it's an opportunity to work through these things. They've come to the surface and now I can be like, okay, I need to address that, I need to work on it, and we can push past it and just keep going. So, yeah, it's very 50-50 that one. It definitely saved my life, prep. I've said this all over everything. This prep saved my life because I don't think I would have been here today without that prep. That sounds a bit extreme, but yeah, that's the reality of it. But yeah, there was also a bit of bad things that came up too.
Yeah, 100%. And I think it's so powerful that you're so open about, some of those things and sharing your experiences too. And it's incredible that you say prep saved your life as well, because it is a pretty incredible journey to commit to, and then let alone, go and win your pro card as well. So you obviously mentioned self-doubt before and that inner voice. Is that something that you feel like you've overcome going through that prep, or like going into potentially new shows, especially as a pro competitor? Do you still feel like you have that self-doubt, and like what are you doing to try and work through it?
Yeah, so look, I think self doubt is that's stuck with everyone. I think everyone's got self doubt. It's just I think it's a lot better, definitely, because now obviously like I won, I can do it. I know that I can actually push myself through the prep. But obviously throughout prep, I'm like, I'm not gonna make it. I'm not gonna make it. But the one thing that I learned throughout prep and self doubt is learn how to fail. Like actually learn to fail. If you stuff up one day and you're like, no, I completely doubt myself, I've given up, I've ruined it, I've made a mistake, you just have to learn how to sit in that and then get up the next day and keep going. So I think that was my biggest battle was, well, actually the biggest blessing that came out of prep was to keep believing in yourself. Like, yes, you've done wrong. Yes, you can doubt yourself. Yes, whatever you may be thinking. But if you get up the next day and you stick to the plan and you keep going, you're actually proving yourself wrong. And like, you don't really doubt yourself much anymore. As long as you keep holding those promises to yourself, self doubt does slowly start to fade. But I don't think it ever truly goes away for anyone. I don't think, yeah. Like, I've got a lot of self doubt going into my pro debut. 100%. I'm so nervous, but I know I can do it. And yeah, I think that's the biggest thing with that.
Yeah, 100%. I think keeping your promises to yourself, like you said, like if you know this is your goal and you've got a plan to get there and you've got these little promises or little habits that you need to keep to yourself along the way, as long as you're taking those off, like the self-doubt kind of does fade out. I think it's stronger when you know that you're not, acting in accordance with what you need to do to achieve that goal. But if you've got someone guiding you and you've got a plan to get there and you're
Yeah,
actually sticking to those promises and you keep showing up for yourself, that self-doubt definitely fades. But at the same time, I think if you don't have any self-doubt, then potentially you're not pushing out of your comfort zone and you're not
exactly. Like,
growing.
you're not like striving to something. I remember at the start of prep when I got told like I had to do like 45 minutes on the Stairmaster. I'm like, no, I can't do that. I was doubting myself so hard. And then by the end of prep, I was breezing through like 2 hours. There was no self doubt. I'd get on that Stairmaster and I knew that I was going to do it because I kept showing up. So that's the biggest thing. Just keep showing up, and then yeah, you will stop doubting yourself a little bit.
Yeah, 100%. And where did your self-confidence come from? Do you think you built that in prep or did you find it somewhere else?
So I personally don't think I have any self confidence. It's actually wild though because all the feedback that I've got from everyone that watched me on stage was, "Oh my god, you look so confident. You look like you've done this before." But for some reason, when I stepped on that stage, I just turned into this ray of sunshine. I couldn't stop smiling. I was just so confident. Throughout the whole entire prep, I didn't have any confidence at all. I hated my posing. I didn't think that I could pose. I was not confident in anything. I wasn't confident in the way I looked. I wasn't confident in literally myself at all. But yeah, the minute I stepped on that stage, this confidence just bursted out of me. And I think what I'm kind of putting it down to is a lot of practice. Practice, practice, practice. My motto is fake it till you make it. Literally fake it until you make it. Don't show people that you're not confident. Just fake it, because at the end of the day, no one really knows, like no one knows how you feel inside. So just fake it till you make it and just learn to love yourself. That's the biggest thing that I found in prep is I really learned to love who I am. And that's when the confidence really started to like slowly start to build up.
Absolutely. And do you feel like there's specific things that you did in your posing and that you practiced that kind of portrayed that confidence on stage that everyone saw?
No, I don't know. I hustled posing very hard, very, very hard. I remember I was like 2 weeks out. I didn't even know how to walk. I couldn't do my facial expressions. I didn't know anything. And then those last 2 weeks, I put my head down and I worked. I worked very, very hard. I did the whole prep, especially those last 2 weeks. I was posing every second of every day as much as I could. And it kind of just became like a autopilot kind of thing. Yeah, I don't know. That's really hard. Like, confidence is a big one. Like, everyone thinks that I'm confident, but then I personally don't think I'm confident. But then, yeah, it's a bit of a weird one.
Yeah, I think, like you said, like practice with your posing is just so important. If your body is on autopilot and you get on stage and you're nervous, but you've practiced it so many times, then your body's just going to do the right thing. It's like when you walk to the front of the stage and you still did your pose, like you've obviously just practiced that so many times that it's
Literally.
second nature. So you're not just a competitor, you also work full time and have a side hustle. How do you balance the emotional energy of, showing up at work, serving others, helping clients and colleagues and all of that with the demands of showing up for yourself in a prep?
Yeah, look, this was really hard for me. I worked pretty much 3 jobs for most of the prep. So I worked full time, and then I run my own business, and I was doing traffic control also. That was insanely hard. I was lucky enough that I work most of the time from home. So on my lunch break, I'd go for a walk. I'd do my cardio. But reality of the story, and this sounds so cliche, but if you want it bad enough, you will do it. I was getting up at 5:30, 6 in the morning just to drive to the gym, just to do my cardio, then drive all the way to work, and then back to the gym after work just to train and do more cardio. Like I was there all hours of the night. Even though like I'd work late, I'd work until like 10 p.m. sometimes. I'd still go to the gym. Even if I could not keep my eyes open, I'd go to the gym. And it generally just comes down to like, if you want it bad enough, you will always make time for what you want. Yeah, like that's very cliche, and I know it probably doesn't help people that much, but when you really are passionate and you want it really bad, nothing's going to stand in your path to stop it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think prep really shows you what your priorities are because you do have to get rid of other priorities. So, like,
Oh,
if you've got work and then sleep and then prep, like, if that's all you have time for, it shows that that's your priority over other things. So, yeah, it definitely shows that clearly.
yeah, like I stopped going out. Like I still had my friends, I would go out here and there, but I got to a point in prep where I'm like, I actually just want to go to bed. Like, I just want to go to the gym, I do my work and go to bed. I don't want anything else. Just, I'm in my peace bubble right now.
Has stepping on stage changed the way that you show up for yourself outside of the gym?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I own it now. Like, I know I am who I am now. And I hold that in every aspect of my life. I won't put up with anything. I won't do anything that doesn't align with my goals anymore. Like I know what my goals are. I know who I am. I know I'm an athlete, and I know that I want to get on stage again. And if that doesn't align with anything outside of my life, then it's not for me. Yeah, like that was a hard part of prep too, was I did lose quite a few people because they didn't understand my goals and what I was striving for, which is completely fine. That's nothing against them. But I want all the aspects in my life now to line up to who I am. And if you don't gel with me, then that's fine.
Yeah, it definitely sounds like you've changed your whole identity. Like you identify yourself as an athlete now, and that's a priority. Did you ever have any kind of conflict in choosing between being the athlete and
Oh
being
my
someone
God.
else?
So much. I think only until maybe 5, 6 weeks out, I was like, who am I? Like, do I want to go back to being the old Mia? Do I want to be this new Mia? I tried having my foot in the door with both of my lifestyles. Didn't work. I couldn't, like, I found a balance, but honestly, it was more that I didn't want that balance anymore. I didn't want that life that I was doing before. Like, now that I broke the cycle when I started prep, it really made me realize I'm so much more than what I've been doing for the past 23 years. Like, it literally opened up my eyes and gave me that confidence to push through that door and shut that door and never look back. Don't ever look back at it. So yeah, like I still am a bit of myself. I'll never not be who I am, but the bad habits and what I was doing before prep, I don't ever want to go back to. And I'm so, so thankful that I had something to kind of like kick me up the bum and be like, nope, like this is what you're going to do. You're going to stick to it. Why would you go back to doing all that stuff? Like, yeah. So that's,
So true.
yeah, like I definitely broke a cycle, a cycle that I was just too scared to do it on my own. Like I didn't have the heart to get rid of these people, these things that I was doing. I couldn't do it on my own. But then when prep came along, I just would be like, oh, you know what, I'm a bit too busy with prep, or I've got this to do, and it just made me realize there's so much more to life. There's so much more.
Yes. And what do you feel like this sport has taught you that no other experience could?
Oh my god, resilience, resilience. Like there is so many moments where you just want to call it quits and you don't. And I think it's in other sports, like, yes, you have to show up every day, but I don't know, it's hard to explain. I just feel like this one's a bit more demanding. Like, I don't think there's other sports that you really have to diet so hard for either. Like, a lot of sports is like you actually eat to perform better. This one's kind of like, oh, we're going to drain everything out of you. But I think resilience is the biggest thing that this sport will teach you, because even when you're not in a comp prep, you're still pushing to get better in the gym. Like if you're in a bulk or you're in a build or something like that, you're still pushing to get further, lift heavier, get better. You're always just striving for something more, and you're just never giving up on yourself pretty much.
Yes, I love that. I couldn't have said that better myself. And if you had to name one belief that you had to let go of in order to become who you are now, what would it be?
That you're not good enough. Yeah, that was a major one. Even like I struggled a bit with that after show. I was like, "Oh, I'm not good enough for my pro card. Like, how did I win my pro card? Or, I wasn't good enough to do that. But I am. And it proved that I am. And throughout the whole prep, there was this just little voice in my head, like, you can't do this, you're not meant for this life, you're not meant to be an athlete. Or I was kind of having like a bit of an identity crisis too. I'm like, is this like, am I an athlete? And it's only just starting to kick in. I've still got a lot of way to go, but that's definitely the biggest thing that I had to let go, was telling myself that I'm not meant to be an athlete when I am. Like, that is who I am. So yeah.
Advice would you give to someone else who's potentially prepping for their first show and they're having those same thoughts, like they feel like they're not good enough to go pro or they're not good enough to complete the prep and step on stage?
Yeah, look, I want to say all the cliche things, like believe in yourself, don't give up, it's going to be okay. But that's genuinely the truth. It's all worth it in the end, no matter what you place on the day. Not many people actually make it to the stage. Not many people even do a prep in general. So one, be thankful that you are able to do this. Like, your body's letting you do this, you're healthy enough to do it, and just give yourself some grace, because it's definitely a hard period and it's not going to be smooth sailing 24/7. Like, so many people say, like, oh, I had a perfect prep, blah, blah. No one has a perfect prep. Everyone stuffs up, even in the slightest way. Don't be hard on yourself. Don't beat yourself up. And to say you went off your meal plan, you ate a little nibble of something, don't be like, oh, okay, so I ate that, I'm going to go eat so much more and then I'm going to blow this whole week, kind of thing. Just pick yourself back up. Like, every day is a new opportunity to do better. So that's my biggest thing, is if you stuff up, because you will, everyone stuffs up, just get back on track and just believe in yourself and have fun. That is, again, sounds so cliche, but it's so much fun. And this journey is meant to be fun. And in the moment, you don't feel like you're having fun at all. At all. But like 2 weeks out after the show, I'm like, oh, damn, I wish I was back in prep. Like, get me back in prep already. Like, it goes so quick.
So true. I think like that presence and kind of the moment that you're in is so important as well, because when you're in prep, you're like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to be done with prep and do all these things. And then when you're in a build phase, you're like, oh, I can't wait to be in prep again. So I think just like appreciating those things in the moment, like
Yeah,
appreciating those things that you get from prep. And then on the flip
100%.
side, appreciating those things that you get in a build phase that you can't have in prep
Yeah,
makes the journey, so much more enjoyable, right?
yeah, definitely. You're never going to love what you're in. Unfortunately, you always want to get out of the build, or if you're in the prep, you want to get out of the prep, and then as soon as you're done, you want to go straight back. It's just a constant cycle.
Yeah. And now that you're an FMG Pro, how are you thinking about what's next? Is it a season of growth, or are you still kind of just processing and working through things before you think about the next show?
Yeah, look, I'm still on the road to get my health on track, but obviously doing very well with that. Do need to grow. So some of my feedback was, grow a bit more. And obviously the pro lineup is going to be very tough. I'm very scared, but no, we'll have a season of growth, and then, yeah, hopefully health markers will all get back on track, grow a bit, and then we'll start planning my pro debut, because I'm getting back up on that stage.
Exciting. And do you have any long-term goals in the sport?
Yeah, so I'm starting to be a PT now. I'm currently doing my Cert 3 and 4 in fitness and my nutrition course. Hopefully, now that things have all kind of settled down a bit, like, I can really get that back on track. But my biggest goal is I really want to help people. Not so much on the physical side, but I really want to help people on the mental side of things. I think I've literally been through probably every single scenario in my life that you could ever imagine. So I feel like I can really help people with, yeah, just how they think about things, their outcome on life. And I really want to focus on newcomers to the gym. So people that haven't really gone to the gym, I really want to help them mentally to get to the gym. Because, like, yes, gym is a physical thing, but if you're not strong enough mentally to actually take yourself to the gym, like, you're not going to be working out, kind of thing. So yeah.
Yes, I feel like that mental barrier to take that first step is
Yeah, definitely.
so hard for some people. So I love that you're mixing, that with with your studies. I think that'll be so, so powerful. So for anyone who wants to follow your journey or just learn from, what you've lived, where can they connect with you?
So just on Instagram, it's Mia Barlow, just one word. And that's all I really got for the moment, but I do want to start my YouTube up, so stay tuned, guys.
Exciting. Well, thank you so much for coming on and sharing your advice. I feel like we had some very deep questions here, but you're honestly the right person to ask them to. So thank you so much for being so open about your journey and sharing tips for anyone listening to this.
Thank you for having me. I love this. I have to come back for my second
Yes,
show.
definitely. And thank you so much to our listeners as well. If you could give the show a rating and a follow on the platform that you're listening to it on, it really does help us to grow and get more incredible guests on like Mia.